hear anything. What is going on?
Red button.
Test, 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 test. There we go. The headphone
okay,
control
there we go.
was down. All right, let's turn that off. Welcome to the historic Polar Dome here in East Dundee for today's Central States Game of the Week on Stream Sports Midwest. My name's Aaron Schellen. My broadcast partner is Mike Napolitano, and we have lost our camera shots. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, not sure.
Folks, hang tight just a second. We lost the camera as soon as we went live. Stick with us, and we'll be back as quickly as we can be. All right, let's try that again.
Okay.
We are at the Polar Dome here in East Dundee for today's Central States Game of the Week on Stream Sports Midwest. He's Mike Napolitano. I'm Aaron Schellen, and you know, this place has got a lot of personality, Mike, and I guess it's not a surprise that we're going to be tasked with some, I don't say difficulties right before the game, but we've got a Squirt minor matchup for you today between the Wilmette Junior Trevians and the Leafs Squirt minor. And we did a game last night, Eric and I, out in Vernon Hills between a couple of other teams in this division. So this is back-to-back days for me taking a look at these Squirt minor teams. Last night it was the Ice Dogs and Winnetka. Today it's the Leafs, who come in 5-7-1 on the season. They're in 10th place, while Wilmette looking to snap a 7-game losing streak. They come in 1-10, and we are underway. And I don't want to say warn everybody ahead of time, but you can see the camera shot. We are behind a piece of glass, and we are not going to be able to see much down right along the boards in front of us or in the corners. So just bear with us while we do our best to bring you the action as the Trevians have the puck behind the net. Thrown over onto the far wall where Noah Cesaroni takes it. Throws it near side. And I don't want to stick my head too far out in front of the camera. I'd rather you guys see it than see the back of my noggin as the puck is worked out. And I said before the game, Mike, I said they just need to keep the puck on the far side of the ice. And, of course, the first 60 seconds is right down in front of us.
Don't worry, I'll be making sure that you're not too far into the shot. But
Appreciate that.
We've got a booth to ourselves up here, so you won't hear as much of the game audio kind of in the background from up here. But the only other booth they have across the way is a little bit further from the action, a little bit darker up there. Got some beams. They can run power, but there was no power up there. But a couple different options in this historic rink.
I think this is probably the best setup. I just have to get used to stretching my head to be able to see as the puck is down to our left. This is Braxton Tyrell working the puck up and out. Landon Carlson now down the far wing. Carlson top of the far dot. He'll skate in on the backhand, and it's in. That beats Lazar DeMontis, and it's 1-0 Leafs. There's a pretty backhand there by Carlson. I wasn't sure initially if DeMontis was able to get a piece of it, but that's in, and it's 1-0 Leafs.
Very little celebration there from the Leafs, just kind of all business right there. And as that puck, as the goaltender stood up, it almost looked like it was still sitting in the crease, but it did hit the back of the net and came right back out.
Yeah, I don't think the Leafs knew right away that puck was in either, hence the muted celebration. So 1-0 Leafs here in the early going. This is Billy Dooley will take the wrist shot in. That deflects off Theodore Knudsen, the goaltender for the Leafs today. Now down the near wall with it come the Leafs. They're in the offensive zone again. Centering feed looking for Tyrell, swept away by Wilmette. The puck out in front, ripped and scored. Nolan Bowen goes top corner, and really quickly, the Leafs are up by 2.
Yeah, and that was a no-doubter there for Bowen. The entire Leafs team knew it on that one. So quickly right back into the offensive zone. Very next shot on goal, and it's in. We had one rush there from the Trevians, and Unfortunately, it didn't result in sustained zone pressure, so it goes right back the other way for the Leafs.
A good start for the Leafs. They're also riding a 2-game losing streak, so they're looking to get right as well, and it's a good start for them. Here's Tyrell again. They keep skating down the near side. We need to have a talk with these boys and girls in between periods. Keep the puck on the far side of the net, far side of the ice. Tyrell off the boards. Now in the corner, it's Jack Weiss for the Trevians, junior Trevians. He throws it up the far wall and out. Charlie Bergstein, nice feed across to Cullen Schneider. Schneider's shot, and that'll hop into the waiting arms of Knudsen.
Well, we have a decent vantage point, of course, up here with the limited view on the near side. But this is one of those rinks, if you're parents of anybody playing in this league, you want to be here, because I was talking to the rink owner, Michael, that was saying that this seats just about 2,000 in those stands. And then, of course, there's vantage points all below us in the lobby area, which is a really nice lobby area. It's got that wood and brick feel to it, almost like you're in like a lodge in Michigan or Minnesota.
I made the comment on Instagram before the game. I said, if you've ever been at the circus and said, man, I wish there was a hockey game going on, this is the place for you, the Polar Dome. And obviously it's at Santa's Village, so you've got all the rides and everything outside, but it truly feels like a circus tent, a circus dome, and that's really what it used to be, right? The air tent.
Yeah, the largest air tent in the world, air sustained ceiling, and it used to be one of the premier rinks in the northwestern Chicago area. In fact, the Blackhawks used to practice here in the 60s when something would come to town at the old Chicago Stadium and they had to practice elsewhere. The dimensions of this rink are the exact same as the old Chicago Stadium. So you typically see rinks that are 200 foot by 85 feet wide. Well, this is 180 feet by 85 feet wide, so a little bit different here.
Yeah, Mike got a tour of the arena before the game. He didn't know all of this. He got a tour from the rink manager. Here's a shot in, and the save is made by DeMontis. So, yeah, that means some of the all-time Blackhawks greats, right? Bobby Hull, Stan Mikita, they were on this ice back in the 60s.
I'm sure it's a little bit different as it's been melted down, and it was actually when the air dome popped, it was a outdoor roller rink for some time before the roof was built. And now we have a flat roof, and you'll see some brown lines on the ice. That's from the wood beams that sweat during the summer. So it's a warm system here that unfortunately makes the rink close during the summer and then reopen for hockey season when they can keep the ice sustained.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the game as the puck is kept in by Nolan Bowen. Tyrell will chase for the puck. We were talking about it before the game. We weren't sure what it was. We thought maybe it was the heating system that was underneath the ice that was causing the brown stripes on the ice. But then you went and you looked back at your phone at a photo that you had taken, and you didn't even know that you had the answer all along on your phone.
There's a little plaque in the lobby explaining it, so yeah.
It's a very, very unique and neat stadium as DeMontis does a nice job holding the near post. Here's another shot. That one by Tyrell goes high and wide of the far post. Kept in by the Leafs.
Shot.
They're up 2-0 with about 8 minutes left in the first. Tyrell in the corner. And Junior Trevians work it out to center ice. Racing forward is Peter Heffron. He's not able to get there. First one on it are the Leafs, and it'll be Tyrell. Short bench for the Leafs. Just 5 skaters on that bench. Tyrell down the far side. He's got Carlson on his right. Gets caught up in the referee, and it's swept out by Wilmette.
Yeah, short bench, but that really hasn't stunted this Leafs team skating-wise or energy-wise thus far. It's early, but they've built that 2-0 lead thus far.
Yeah, last night, the game up in Vernon Hills, we saw 5 goals in the first period and then just 1 the rest of the way. So a lot of early offense in that one, a lot of early offense in this one. Offensive zone are the Leafs. Racing forward is Cesaroni and Carlson for the Leafs. It'll be Sebastian Bautista Guillo with it. Out with it now is Cohen, William Cohen. He'll go cross ice. Finds Bergstein. Bergstein back to Schneider. Schneider to Cohen. Throws it towards the net. It gets blocked in the dot, and it'll come out to center ice. Bautista back in. Paxton Burris behind his own net. Shovels it forward for Landon Carlson. Carlson has to skate through some traffic along the near corner. It's thrown in towards the goal. Hits the side of the net, trying to jam it in. A couple of whacks at it is Bergstein. That puck is still loose in the paint. Diving to his left and keeping it out is Knudsen. And the Leafs work it out to center ice. Great opportunity for the Junior Trevians there. 3 or 4 whacks in the paint against a fallen goalie. Just couldn't get the puck up and out.
Those are those rushes that the Trevians are going to want to capitalize on, especially we talked about with the Leafs' short bench. There's that theory that a shorter bench means that the team works a little bit harder and actually has a little bit more energy out there, and that's what we've seen from the Leafs. But if you could catch them tired in their own zone, the Trevians are going to have a better opportunity to get that puck on net and in the back of it.
Dominic Dawson stick handles through traffic, shoots it high and wide. That was a pretty drag by Dawson to get free, but shot it over the crossbar. Now back into center ice with it is Cesaroni. He'll turn and fire it back in. 5:40 left in the first. 2-0 Leafs with the lead.
Down into this tight corner where we can't see the action.
Got to wait for somebody to come out with it, and the Trevians will skate out with it. It's number 66. I don't have a 66 on my roster, so we'll just call him Mario Lemieux.
Yeah, he doesn't have a nameplate on the back either.
Yes, so we're
we'll
call him Mario.
Cesaroni had a grade A chance in the high slot right there, just nothing doing.
Here's Tyrell. Tyrell, one of the goal scorers, puts it into the corner. In that near corner now, puck squirts out by DeMontes, who sticks it behind the net. Leafs give it away, and the Junior Trevians try to work it out. They can't. Tyrell takes it right back, though, and dumps it in. Dawson behind the net. Leaves it for Tyrell. Tyrell finds Papp, who just came in off of a line change. Dawson now below the red line. Out the near side. Flips it back to Cesaroni. Cesaroni and Dawson play catch. This is Cesaroni on his backhand. Turns and throws it back behind the net where Dominic Dawson is waiting. He'll shovel the forehand out in front. Now a backhand towards the goal goes wide. Dawson again. Leafs have the Junior Trevians hemmed here a little. Cesaroni not able to corral the aerial pass.
Yeah, it was a beautiful sauce pass, but just to his backhand instead in the slot and just not able to pull the trigger.
Junior Trevians push it around for Peter Heffron in the near corner. Leafs take it. Trevians take it back and clear it out with 3:43 left. Race for the puck here. This is Schneider after it with Papp, but it'll go the length of the ice. For an icing with 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And I will say it's a little, I don't want to say unnerving, but it's a little, we're literally just in a room with a glass pane in front of us that we can't open. So it feels kind of like I'm watching the game on TV and calling it in my living room. Like, you know, I've called games remotely before, and that's kind of what this feels like.
Feels like we're in Utah because the Utah Mammoth last year when they were just the Utah Hockey Club, they had to do renovations to their rink because it was only a basketball rink, and there was a whole side of the stadium in which you'd buy tickets maybe up in the 200 or 300 level, not sure what they have over there, but you wouldn't be able to see the whole near side zone because there was such an overhang that they had to do major renovations during the off season. So
I hope those were cheap tickets.
Yeah, I feel like you said, we're sitting at home watching this game and I'm yelling at the camera telecast to pan the camera.
Move the camera more.
But there's nowhere else to go.
Shot by Bowen, saved by DeMontes. Tyrell behind the net gets pinned up against the back wall by William Cohen. That'll come out to center ice. It gets under the stick of Paxton Burris. Burris racing for the puck with Dooley. Dueling 94s. Bowen now the other way. Bowen up to Tyrell. Tyrell walks in all by himself. Tyrell on the forehand, and he buries it. Second goal of the period for Braxton Tyrell, and the Leafs are up 3-0.
We've got a little bit of a celly gone wrong there, but you hear the horn. I'm sure that wasn't the horn that the Blackhawks were using in the 60s, but it is the current Blackhawks horn plus Chelsea Dagger. If you can hear any of it on the broadcast, I doubt you can, but we can hear the echo of it up here in the room.
Well, what I liked about that from Tyrell was that he knew what he wanted to do with the puck. You could see he looked very confident with that puck on his stick.
Yes.
And he wasn't rushing. He wasn't out over his skates, so to speak. He stayed back. And both goals today he has put in that top corner over the glove hand of Lazar Diamantis.
We're waiting for one more Trevian to hit the ice.
And we got 5 for each side. There's some discussions between the officials and the coaches, but we're ready to go. 3-0 Leafs here in the first period.
This Leafs team is usually used to playing out of West Dundee rather than East Dundee over at the Canlin Ice Arena.
So we've been over there a whole bunch over the years.
Right.
It's our first time at East Dundee, though.
Yeah.
One of the few rinks in the Chicagoland area that I haven't been to, covering youth hockey over the last handful of seasons. Junior Trevian's going off sides with 2:09 left in the first period.
And that's nothing to discredit you. It's just this rink hadn't been open thanks to Mike. He's reopened it now. So they just opened back in January for a couple months, and this is their first full season that started up here in September. So this is going to be a fun one to come back to and see the growth here in such a historic building.
The only other rink that I know of that I haven't been to, there's one on 53 going south, like once you get past Arlington Heights, right before Schaumburg.
Rolling Meadows?
It's right on the highway, right on 53.
Yeah. That's West Meadows.
Is it?
Rolling Meadows.
Okay.
I believe right there, yeah. So I've skated there.
You have? That's one of the few rinks, and I drive by it because we do a lot of games in, up north in Vernon Hills, and, we do some stuff in, up in that area at Mount Prospect Ice Arena and stuff, and I always come home that way, and I pass it. I'm like, I wonder if anybody plays there. Well, anybody that we deal with plays there.
There's a couple of skates that they run in like Friday nights or Sunday nights that I know friends of mine go to, but I believe it's the Chiefs that play out of there. Every once in a while. So it's a good location.
A minute 25 left in the period. Tyrell will take the draw for the Leafs, and it's Cohen for the Junior Trevians as we have a centering feed, and Nolan Bowen was right on the doorstep, but Lazar Diamantis kept those pads closed, and we got a whistle and a face-off.
Yeah, he had a swimming save right before the stoppage, and then another save right there, keeping that puck in between the legs. If you notice, it's a little tough to see from here, but his mask is actually Christmas colored. He's got the green and red striping, and also on his goaltender stick, he's got actually a little bit more green than red, which is really cool to see because we're here at Santa's Village, so I can only imagine.
It makes sense.
With the holidays coming up and with the location you're playing at, you're going to be a little festive. You also see that on number 86 for the Trevian stick. That's Weiss. He's got the candy cane tape, the red and white going as well.
I think it's appropriate.
Yeah.
I love it. I love a good hockey theme or a good Christmas theme. I'm a Christmas guy. I am all for Christmas. For me, it's basically once baseball season it's over, I'm ready for Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I would decorate the house in October if my wife would let me. Sadly, she doesn't, so everything's still in storage. Here's Tyrell in the corner, only for a week or so, though. Shot in, and what a diving save to his left by Diamantis on, I think it was William Siegmiller at that near post. What a gorgeous save made by Lazar Diamantis.
That was actually Johnson in front, number 28, that
Carter Johnson
was all alone, had the rebound opportunity in the crease, and a flopping save from the tender right there for the Trevians.
28, not 68. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your help. Pap with the shot from the point goes wide. Backhanded out in front, sticked away by Diamantis. But either way, it was a gorgeous save by Lazar, diving from his right to his left. Puck is in the corner. It's the best I can tell you right now, comes out the far side. And that'll be Bautista with 17 seconds left. Kept in by the Leafs, pushed back behind the net, where the junior Trevians will take control up the near wall. Tuck goes down. Leafs have it. This shot from a bad angle off the left shoulder of DeMontes. The puck is in the paint, and Carlson puts it home at the horn. I don't know if they're going to count it or not. The junior Trevian coach is pointing up at the scoreboard, saying the clock had expired. I didn't hear the horn, Mike, but the home crowd, the home team has already put that goal up on the board. We'll see if it counts, but right now it is 4-0 Leafs. As we get ready for the second period, Mike and I are going to step aside for just a minute, and when we come back, it will be second period action. Back here, second period action about to get started. They were making sure the horn worked because I mentioned we didn't hear a horn at the end of the period, and that's because there wasn't one. So they were making sure that that was working as things came to an end. And what do we got?
I think we're going to have our first penalty here. Something went on in this corner that we're not fully able to see, but it looks like we're going to maybe get a Trevian headed to the box.
It's
number 88.
88, who's also not on my roster. That's Tuck. Cameron Tuck. He's on my roster as number 8.
Oh, he's added an 8.
Added
there.
an 8 since the last time.
No longer Ovechkin. He's Patrick Kane. David Pasternak.
You can go with Kane. I appreciate you. I appreciate you throwing the Pasternak reference in there for me.
I throw
but
Vasilevsky, but I don't see him in net.
no, but we can stick with Patrick Kane as long as we're calling hockey in the Chicagoland area. That's fine. For those of you who have not tuned into a broadcast that we've done before, I am a born and raised New Englander, so I am a Boston Bruins fan through and through. But I know who my audience is, so that's fair. Braxton Tyrell in the corner.
Yeah, that fourth goal did end up counting,
Yep.
despite there not being a buzzer. That's thrown on net.
Yep, save made by DeMontes up the near side, kept in by Pap. He loses it, and now Dooley breaking the other way with a chance. Dooley cuts to the inside, now back to the outside. Dooley with the shot and the save made by Knudsen. Billy Dooley pretty moved from the inside, then back out, Mike.
That was the perfect move to pull right there with the defender biting on that initial move to the slot. I mean, everything defensively is going to think, okay, he's headed towards the net, and so he's going to come with you on that initial bite. But to move back out and take that shot on your strong forehand is good. The only thing is now you've got a little bit tougher of a shot. You got to put it over the goaltender's blocker and just not able to do that. But he wins a faceoff in the offensive zone.
Bergstein takes the draw for the junior Trevians. It's won by the Leafs over to the near half wall. The puck will come out to center ice. Cesarini and Dawson along the blue line. It gets through the defense, and Carlson will have to go back and play it for the Leafs. Backhands it up to Dawson. Dawson finds Cesaroni. Cesaroni over by the far point will just backhand it in deep. In the corner, Dominic Dawson.
Battle for it down low there. If you see right above the scoreboard, it's kind of dark with the shadowing of the rafters, but there's an orange and white logo up there. That is the original hand-painted logo that says Polar Dome Ice Arena back from when this originally opened in the 60s. So playing under some...
Dawson centering feed finds Carlson for the one-timer, and it's 5-0. Didn't want to interrupt your story there, Mike, but that was a pretty one-timer from Dawson to Carlson, and it's a 5 spot for the Leafs. They're up 5-0.
That's fine. We went from history to action right there, as it looked as though the Leafs had nothing really going on in the zone, and one centering pass and a man left wide open, and Dawson adds to this lead.
5-0 here in the second.
That was an easy backdoor tap, and
so original hand-painted sign from the 60s, that makes it, 60-ish years old?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and this rink was closed for a while back, dating to like 2006.
Tyrell with almost the hat trick as the save is made by DeMontes. Carter Johnson behind the net, leaves it for Bowen, who tries to tuck it inside the near post or far post and can't. Tyrell skates out of the corner with it. Tyrell walking towards the net. Tyrell shoots from a bad angle, and it goes wide. Carter Johnson on the far side now.
It was a nice wraparound attempt followed by a really high-rising shot that was troublesome, but now a save, and the Trevians will alleviate the pressure for moments.
Lazar DeMontes able to hold on to that one. His goalie's listed as number 0. We don't have a number 0 on our roster, so I'm assuming it's Lazar because he's the only goalie that was on the roster provided.
Right.
So that's what we're going to go with. If it's not, if it's somebody else, I apologize. I don't have another goalie on my roster, so.
Unless that's Santa Claus in that. He's got the striping for it.
It could be. It could be Santa, yes.
He's here early.
Paxton Burris off the wall, and that'll squirt out to center ice. Now Cesaroni and Dawson was just a step or two ahead of Noah Cesaroni. For an offsides with 10:14 left in the second period, Leafs out in front comfortably, 5-0.
Here at Santa's Village, this is the perfect place to have that checkered red line at the center. You know why it's checkered, Aaron?
I don't.
So back in the 60s.
Is this a Polar Dome thing or is this a hockey thing?
This is a hockey thing. Back in the 60s when games were televised, sometimes the camera would be so focused in on one zone that you'd only see 2 of the lines, the blue line and the center red line. And if one was a solid center red and the other one was blue on a black and white TV, you wouldn't be able to tell which was which. So they had to stripe one of them, which they ended up making the striped center red line.
Well, that's interesting. Mike, you're full of useful information today. I'm loving this.
That one I knew before stepping into the Polar Dome today.
I'm loving this. You know what? It makes sense. You know, it really does. I mean, you said it, right? The rink's been around for forever, and, you know, given the location. I was pulling up and I was talking to our other broadcast partner, Eric Willowhite, yesterday up in Vernon Hills, and he was telling me that he used to skate here as a kid. And he goes, yeah, I used to be at Santa's Village. I don't know if it still is. And, like, I've never been here. Like I said, I grew up in New England, so I'd never been here. But,
Right.
you know, I'm pulling up Higgins or whatever road it is that leads right to the Santa's Village here. And Dundee Road, that's what it is. I'm driving up Dundee Road, and I'm like, oh, that must be it. As I see the
big sign, Santa sign. Oh, the big slides.
The slides and the roller coaster, and I'm like, this must be where we've got to be.
Yep. Yeah, they do a lot of different events during the off season here. You've got, of course, one of the biggest. It's called Santa's Village, so you got to have one of the biggest Christmas shows with, I believe, Mike that runs the rink here was telling me, I think over 300,000 lights. It's one of the biggest in the state or possibly even in the country. I know they do something for Halloween. You know me, I'm a Halloween guy. But during the summer, you've got a water park and a bunch of rides, and they've just reopened, I believe, their paintball courses over here. I didn't even know they had paintball.
I didn't know they had paintball. Yeah.
So
there's a Santa's Village near where I grew up in New England.
Oh, okay.
So it's I don't know if it's a chain or what, but there's one of these similar in New Hampshire, but yeah, this is a very unique location, and the rink is got all sorts of character, and it's just a very cool place.
Santa's probably got to have villages all over the place.
You would imagine so, right?
Trip, you know?
Carlson with the shot, nice right pad save, but the rebound by Cesaroni hammers it home. And the Leafs are up big. That was a nice first save made by DeMontes, but Noah Cesaroni on the doorstep puts it home, and the Leafs are up big.
And DeMontes was scrambling to try to scorpion kick that one out of there, but unfortunately that slap shot from Cesaroni just rises above the pads and finds its way into the back of the net. 6-0 here, the score line for the Leafs.
Yeah, the Leafs have looked pretty good in this one. Carlson will win the draw. He'll walk forward with it. Cesaroni on his left, backhands it through. Knocked away by Oscar Miller. Now Tuck. Up the wall, kept in by Sieg Miller. He'll loft it towards the goal. Comes into the near corner for Carlson. Thrown around the far side where it's played by Tuck again. We got 288s out there. That's, it's 98. I'm sorry. That's Charlie Dix. Yeah. Okay. Now right down in front of us. Back into the offensive zone for the Leafs. Now Dooley loses it. Heffron takes it for the junior Trevians. Looking for Dooley on the return pass. Cesaroni one-hands it out to center ice. Tuck falls down on the puck, shovels it forward with one hand, and Heffron into the offensive zone.
We were looking it up before the game. Trevians are a type of German soldier, referring to the town of New Trier. There is a New Trier here in Illinois, but back into its German roots.
Are they the Trevians?
They are the Trevians.
They are?
Yeah. So, actually, I don't know if the New Trier over here are Trevians.
We got another goal. It's tucked in at the far post by Dominic Dawson. Had 2 or 3 whacks at it, and the Leafs tack on the extra point.
I thought DeMontes had that one in the pads covered, but unfortunately that one sneaks in, and it's 7-0 Leafs. They are not slowing down at all, despite that short bench that we were talking about. You didn't know you were turning into the History Channel here.
No, today, and I'm loving it. And New Trier are the Trevians, by the way. I just looked it up. Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
So we're going to get a stoppage of play here. 7:03 left to go in the second period. Leafs are up big. All right, timeout is up. We're ready to go. Leafs and Junior Trevians here on a Saturday before Thanksgiving. What do you do for Thanksgiving, Mike?
It varies. Sometimes it's at my dad's. Back when my grandmother was around, we would have, of course, the big Italian Thanksgiving feast, which isn't really anything different from American Thanksgiving, but, maybe throw a couple extra Italian dishes in there, maybe a lasagna. But
Lasagna, really?
Yeah.
Lasagna for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, or stuffed shells were another big one. Monogon.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You got to have a pasta dish in there if you're Italian. But,
Okay.
this year I'll be on my mom's side of the family, and it'll be just, your classic Thanksgiving. How about you guys? Any plans?
We usually go to my wife's parents' house, but they are having their kitchen redone, or having their entire upstairs redone. So we'll be at my brother-in-law's house this year.
I do remember you telling me when we were doing some Lake Forest games.
Yeah, because I
Look out. That's in the
another
paint.
chance right in front, 2-3 whacks at it, and DeMonte's able to make the save as Beckett Papp is getting into it with the entire Junior Trevians squad. Yeah, I'll be at my brother-in-law's house. Yeah, we were talking about it over the weekend where normally we do the hockey games at my in-laws' house, and my mother-in-law lets me carve the turkey because my father-in-law just doesn't like to do it. So I've been carving the Thanksgiving turkey forever, and this year, because it's at my brother-in-law's house, he gets to carve his own turkey. So I'm a little bummed about that. I like that responsibility.
I forgot your Bruins always typically play on Thanksgiving,
Yes,
right?
they do.
Isn't it always
Yep.
Bruins Rangers?
Yep, I think they always do.
Yeah, so that should be a fun one this year, especially with the Bruins surprisingly at the top of the division.
Yeah, playing well, playing some good hockey.
The Rangers, who should be playing good hockey, have not looked as great in these past couple of months, and last year even, dating back to their little bit of a falter.
Back to play the puck here are the Trevians. That's Bautista, number 96. Bautista throwing it up, looking for Dooley. The pass is intercepted. Cesaroni, yeah, I'd made some comment when the Bruins were like 3-6 about how they're a bad hockey team, and then they went on to win 7 in a row like immediately after that, so I'll take credit for it. Tuck with the shot, and that's a nice save by Knudsen. Junior Trevians have had 2 or 3 really in-tight chances, but Knudsen's made the stops. Now Dawson's spinning around, and DeMontes is able to make the save on the spinorama job by Dominic Dawson.
That was a really good puck retrieval with that 360 spin that you were talking about. Almost looked like Savoir Faire, but that's not the era that would have been playing here at the Polar Dome. But, yeah, you talk about the initial entry, though, to pick the puck off of the Trevians, I thought may have resulted in a tripping call, but
Cesaroni just laying down on top of the puck. He's getting poked at by Tuck, but he was just trying to play the puck. And then Cesaroni got up and gave Tuck a little bit of a shove. But, hey, if you're going to lay down on top of the puck, you got to expect to get poked at.
Yeah, we saw some pushing and shoving after that last attempt over on the Trevian side of the ice after that DeMontes save. And, we saw some good sportsmanship between the goaltenders during the stoppage of play, during the timeout. And then, of course, a couple of hacks and whacks in the crease, and you get the shoving going back again when the competition ramps back up. But for the most part, it's been pretty copacetic between these two teams. That was a tough one, though. He's sitting at the blue line, and you're not really sure if it's onside or not.
He wasn't trying to get up. He was just laying on the puck.
Right.
Yeah, we saw the goalies, a little fist bump at center ice at that timeout. It's nice to see. Goalies supporting goalies, right?
Yeah.
Kelly with it in the corner. Throwing it out in front, and the Junior Trevians will skate onto it. This is William Cohen. Cohen stick handling through some traffic. He'll take the shot from the far dot. He'll go wide of the far post, come out the near side, and the Leafs will skate to center ice with it. It's Papp trying to go through the defense. He'll be the first one on it. Sweeps it wide of the net where Charlie Dix will take it, push it up to the blue line, kept in by Terrell. That bounces behind the net. Papp goes back to the far side. Charlie Dix Up ahead looking for Lucas Seyfirth. Seyfirth not able to clear it. 3:30 left in the second. Dix behind his own net. Kept in the corner by Papp, thrown out in front, but Seyfirth is the only one there. Tries to stick handle and can't. Dix throws it to some space, and that will eventually clear the zone. Tyrell able to get around the long reach of Seyfirth. Given away out in front, and DeMontes dives forward on the puck, but it comes out into the left corner, and now it's cleared the length of the ice, and we'll play on here. Tyrell stick handles, gets cut off by Seyfirth. Now behind the net, Tyrell coming back the other way. He'll throw the aerial pass forward, and Carter Johnson now out with it. Johnson across the blue line, gets underneath Carlson. The junior Trevians are able to play it to center ice. Into the offensive zone now. Wilmette looking for that first. Here's Dooley. Dooley gets cut off down there with Peter Heffron, but it'll be Carter Johnson behind his net. Johnson to Cesaroni up along the far half wall. Bautista stick handles through some traffic. Nice backhand feed to Schneider. Schneider gives it away to Dawson. Dominic Dawson into the offensive zone now. Cesaroni and Heffron in the near corner. Here's Heffron with it. Got a little bit of space. Gets cut off. Throws it up the wall. Kept in by Dawson nicely at the point. Puck comes through to Johnson. Gets through two Trevians on the way to Johnson. Spins in a circle. It's now in the far corner with 1:36 left in the second. Taken here by Carlson. Carlson hits a body out in front. And it comes out to the neutral zone. Bautista getting tangled up with Michael Riley, who clears it in. Carlson and Tuck go into the corner for it. And now Bautista. And what do we got? We got a penalty. Checking called here on, I thought I heard him say White, but the Trevians had the puck, junior Trevians had the puck. So who's it going to be? It's going to be Heffron going to the box.
Oh, it did look like that Leafs door for the penalty box was opening at first, but yeah, Heffron headed to the box. So not what you need if you're the Trevians. And I misspoke earlier, not German. I was thinking of my Saxons, my Schaumburg Saxons, who've played here, so it's very fitting. But Trevian is Welsh, of Welsh descent.
Welsh.
So
Okay.
Nutrier is a Welsh term. So we were talking to Mike before the game, and he was telling me that he also coached back before it was Chiefs, which stands for Conant, Hoffman, Elk Grove, Inverness, Fremd, and Schaumburg. It's all combined as a team. They used to have their...
Oh, there's a shot from the point.
Wow.
Papp gets it to skip through some traffic, and I don't know that DeMontes saw it.
From the point.
Yeah, and the Leafs score another power play goal. Finish your thought.
Yeah, so Mike actually was a coach of the Vikings, the Fremd Vikings for a time. So you've got Vikings, you've got the Saxons before actually after they were the Kings for a little while, the Schaumburg Kings. They became the Saxons, the Schaumburg Saxons of Schaumburg High School, and now you've got the Trevians. So tons of European warriors playing on this ice.
Well, it is the Welsh, it's cold up there. They play a lot of hockey in that area. So Johnson into the offensive zone with the puck, throws the backhand in on goal. Papp tries to knock it in out of the air. He can't. DeMontes able to make the save, but he knocks it down into his paint and has to sit on the puck with 44 seconds left.
Yeah, it was a good initial save on that breakaway attempt. I'm not sure if he got the glove or the blocker on that, but that was a high riser, and then he gets one. He's going to need some help from his teammate getting up from the pads there after that one was saved in the crease.
Braxton Tyrell on the draw for the Leafs. And I think that's William Cohen for the junior Trevians. Number 10, I believe. It is, and he wins it cleanly. Back to Charlie Dix, who throws it up off the far wall. Cleared up and not out. Nice keep by Papp at the far point. Dix will take it again with 30. He'll circle back in his own zone. Johnson off the wall deep. Tyrell, a couple of goals today. Stick handles, backhand, forehand, gives it away to Cohen. Cohen trying to find Jack Weiss, but the puck will go underneath him. And I think we're just going to let that clock run out. Probably should have been icing, but down to 5 seconds, 4. And the second period will come to an end with the Leafs up a bunch. Mike and I will take one more break. When we come back, it'll be third period here from the Polar Dome.
That was a rough.
Third period. Leafs and Junior Trevians in a Squirt minor matchup. 13 minutes left. Running clock here in the third period with the lead what it is. Peter Heffron for Wilmette. And Landon Carlson for the Leafs. Tuck into the offensive zone. He's got Dooley on his left, tries to shovel the backhand towards the net, towards Dooley. Instead, the Leafs clear it the length of the ice. Is that going to have the legs? I think it probably will. And it will. The clock will continue to run here. So tomorrow we got one more game. It'll be 3 games in 3 days here on Stream Sports Midwest. Tomorrow, Eric and I are in... we're at Heartland Ice Arena. That's another rink I've never been to. So getting a tour of the Chicagoland area. We'll be at Heartland tomorrow for a Pee-wee major matchup. And then we get about a week off. I think we're back the week after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, with the holiday and everything, I'm sure maybe still a few games going on here and there during the Black Friday weekend, but for the most part, people are with families.
You and I will be busy. I've got...
That's true.
I have a basketball game on Tuesday nights, and then on Wednesday, you and I are doing a trio of games up at Lake Forest High School.
Right.
Kelly throws that one wide of the net.
Or Lake Forest College, you mean?
Well, Lake Forest College for Lake Forest High School, yes.
Right,
Lake Forest College for the Scouts, yes.
That actually tripped me up the first time when I arrived there. I was like, wait, we're doing which teams again?
Well, right. Well, because you got the high school, you got the college, and you got Lake Forest Academy. So you got all 3 of those there. So it can be a little confusing. But, yeah, no rest for us. We will be going. I get Monday as like my prep day for everything. So I'll just sit in my office and prep for basketball and 3 hockey games. And then I will do nothing but eat and – you know, I think we talked about this on air the other day, too. I used to work that retail life, back in the day. And Thanksgiving for me, when you worked in retail, was never any fun. I would go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night because I had to be up at 2 in the morning for Black Friday. But I remember my first Black Friday out of retail was, 15, 20 years ago at this point. And my wife asked me if I wanted to go shopping. I said, I absolutely do not. I'm going to stay in my house and do nothing.
No extra turkey for you, otherwise that tryptophan will be kicking in.
Yeah, I want to do nothing. I am going to stay right where I am and sit on my couch and do nothing for the first time on Black Friday, and I intend on doing that this year as well. Into the offensive zone is Cohen. He just keeps moving forward, and You know, whistle, and I think we're gonna have a penalty shot.
I think so.
We're gonna have a penalty shot here called for William Cohen. The official had the arms over his head in an X.
Cohen was 1 on 4 right there and still muscled his way up the gut through the slot and got a decent shot off. And I think that puck was still loose when the whistle went, but everybody was swimming in the crease. But as you mentioned, looks like we're going to get a treat here, a penalty shot for Cohen. Clear the ice for this penalty shot. It'll be
Cohen and Theodore Knudsen. Cohen slowly straight up the center. He'll dangle, he'll shoot, and it's into that Leafs logo in the chest of Theodore Knudsen, and he gets some hugs from his teammates. And the Trevians have had, I don't know, 3 or 4, like right in which you would call like high quality opportunities.
Yes.
But just haven't been able to get one past Knudsen yet. They still have 36 seconds left on this power play. So they gave them both a penalty shot. Okay, so now the penalty is ticking down, and now the Leafs have 5 skaters on the ice. So it looks like they put the power play up there when they didn't need to.
I think accidentally, yeah. So, but regardless, yeah, as you mentioned, we've been talking a lot about the Trevians, and they have had their chances, but it has been all Leafs, and here they come back into the offensive zone.
Yeah, Carlson with the high shot, the save made by DeMontes off the chest, and cleared forward and not out as they fight for it right in front of the Junior Trevians bench. Stick handling there is Billy Dooley. In the far corner.
Well, that just got shot right into the mitt of DeMontes.
Glove saving a beauty, as they say.
Yeah. Not even time to do a windmill. He was just hugging that post like he was supposed to be. And
what you're taught to do, right?
Found its way into the leather.
That is what you're taught to do. Hug that near post, or hug that post when the puck's in the corner. Especially at this level, it's unlikely that that shot's going to make it up over your shoulder. So hug the post, stay tight, and make a perfect shot. Out in front, DeMontes comes out of the net. He loses his stick, and there's another one for the Leafs. That's Carter Johnson. And when you get a goalie down without his stick, that's what happens.
Yeah, he had to come out and be big right there and swam a little too far from the blue paint, and next thing you know, it's a wide open cage for the Leafs. We talked about how the Leafs have been dominant in this game. I mean, the Leafs organization, we've seen it, as you mentioned, we've been to West Dundee, the Canlin Center, quite a bit. This is a very talented program at all levels, and if you're the Leafs, you got to be proud of what you've built here.
Mm-hmm. And you really do. I mean, it starts at the mite level, right? We've done a couple of mite games this season, not for the Leafs, but just in general. It starts at that 8U level, and, you know, we've done this. My partner Eric and I have been doing this long enough that we've seen some of these kids go from, 10U up to 16U at this point.
Right.
So you see some of these kids as they grow up in the programs and watch them get bigger and faster and more talented. And here's Weiss will take a shot. The bouncing puck is held on to by Knudsen. But yeah, the Leafs are one of those programs that they typically have a good team at just about every age level.
Yes, yeah.
Face-off will come to the right of Knudsen. The clock continues to tick. We're under 6 minutes. Heffron will take the draw. It's won by the Leafs. Michael Riley in the corner. Safer throws it towards the goal. It's deflected up in the air by Cesaroni. He's into the offensive zone. The shot and the score. Wow. Lazar DeMontes, nothing he could do about that one. Cesaroni just up under the bar, blocker side high, and the Leafs continue to pour it on.
There is one where we talked about that move earlier that the Trevians tried to pull, where it was a cut to the middle, then cut back wide to evade the defender, and then you just have to shoot across the goaltender's body. That was exactly what Cicerone did there. Didn't even have to cut middle, just took that outside lane and had a tough angle to shoot from, but found that top corner on the far side, which is tough to do, especially at this level.
Leafs again walking forward with it. It's in that near corner that I am unable to see. It does come out the far side. There's Cohen with it. Cohen's got Seyfirth with him. Heffron will drive towards the net with the puck. Heffron, bad angle, the shot, and Knudsen makes the save. And really all we're waiting on right now to see if Theodor Knudsen can hang that goose egg up on the board. He's made a couple of really tough saves, including on a penalty shot.
Yeah, that's true. And, the Trevians have pushed a little bit more as of late. They had the penalty shot, a couple of rushes. So he's going to be still tested throughout the end of this game. He's got to be ready for everything.
Kept in at the far point by Oscar Miller. Does a nice job there as he had a couple of Leafs trying to knock the puck away from him and break it in, but held the point smartly. Squirts out in front, nobody there but white jerseys and Nolan Bowen. Bowen finds Tyrell. Tyrell gains the blue line. In the corner, he'll stop there, push it towards the net. Knocked behind the net by the junior Trevians, now in the near corner.
Yeah, puck comes right back out, but on net, and that's on the side of the net.
Trying to wrap around is Tyrell, but not able to twist the wrists enough. Without his stick again is DeMontis. He's lost his stick a couple of times here in the third period.
You'd think with that candy cane, well, actually, no, he has the green and red striping on there. It'd be a little bit stickier because that's got to be some brand new tape, right?
You would think so,
Christmas
yes.
season for Santa's Village.
Puck is thrown out of the zone as we're down to 3 minutes. Bowen gets knocked off the puck by Weiss. Jack Weiss walking forward. He'll lose the puck at the blue line. It's kept in, though. Pap will just turn and throw it out, and then right back in, Charlie Bergstein. Bergstein plays catch with Pap. Pap too far out in front of Carter Johnson. Race for the puck in the corner. It's taken by the Leafs. Shoveled in on goal, and DeMontes will fall forward on it for a whistle and a face-off with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your weekend. I'm gonna go home and take a nap and get ready for tomorrow's Central States game of the week. Maybe watch some college football. I don't get a lot of Saturday afternoon/evenings off.
Yeah.
Especially during the fall with college sports and everything. So get an opportunity to sit and watch some college sports. I'm going to take advantage of that, I think.
I don't blame you. I've got a couple more things to do in preparation for not only next week, but also the holidays. So I'll be doing that and kind of going into this, well, not so much as you mentioned a break for us, but going into at least the Central States break.
Yeah.
On a high note here.
Down to 90 seconds left. Offsides was called. Face-off in the neutral zone. Carlson and Cohen to take it here.
It's the first one we've had at this dot.
All day.
Each of these dots, at least in the neutral zone, of course, other than the main center dot, have initials in them. This one to my left says DK. Not sure what this one says to our right.
Looks like an M and an O maybe, or... Yeah, it's hard to tell, but all 4 dots in the neutral zone have initials in them. I think they do in the offensive and defensive zones as well.
I think so. So, yeah, they've been dedicated to something or someone.
Pass up ahead to Burris. Burris spins onto the puck, but he put himself offside, skated into the zone backwards.
His skates were past that blue line before the puck got to him, and then it was a nice turnaround move, nice reception. Once again, we've seen that already from this Leafs team on the spin-around carry, but, yeah, a little too anxious.
So we're down to 30 seconds. One more face-off here. Tyrell and Cohen on the draw. It's won by the Leafs. Tyrell into the offensive zone. Leafs looking for one more, looking for that shutout. Maybe a chance here down the stretch for Dooley as his legs taken out from underneath him. And we're down to 8 seconds, and the Leafs are going to walk away with a convincing victory here over the Wilmette Junior Trevians. The Leafs will improve to 6-7-1 on the season. They will leapfrog Winnetka, who lost yesterday to the Ice Dogs, while Wilmette drops to 1-11. So on the ice, the Leafs dominate, but ultimately this was another fun afternoon. Got to go to a rink that we had never seen before and got some history lessons today. Got my education, and I tell my kids every day that you got to learn something new every day, and I learned a bunch today, Mike. Thank you.
I think we've learned a month full of things. So, yeah, all in one day. It was a great game, and, congratulations to the Leafs. They thought they put one more in at the buzzer there, but it wasn't much of a difference, and a great game all around by both sides.
Yep. Leafs win big. That's going to do it for Mike and I here from the Polar Dome. We'll talk to you tomorrow from the Heartland Ice Arena. But until then, this has been Central States Hockey on Stream Sports Midwest. Take care, everybody.